Have you ever felt lost, abandoned, or completely helpless? Imagine being cast out into the wilderness with nothing but the clothes on your back, left to fend for yourself and your child. It sounds like the stuff of nightmares, doesn't it? But this is the very real and harrowing story of Hagar and Ishmael, a tale of survival, despair, and ultimately, divine intervention. Today, we're diving deep into their journey, one that continues to inspire faith and trust in God's provision even in the direst circumstances. So, grab a seat, and let me take you back to biblical times, to a tale woven into the fabric of our faith. Hagar's story begins when she was handed an impossible fate. She was an Egyptian servant in the household of Abram and Sarai, later known as Abraham and Sarah. Sarai, unable to bear children at that time, gave Hagar to Abram to conceive a child for them. Imagine the weight of being thrust into such a decision, not as a wife, but as a servant obeying her mistress's desperate will. Hagar conceived, and she gave birth to Abram's firstborn, a boy named Ishmael. Life seemed complicated already, didn't it? But oh, it was about to get even more challenging. As the years went on, Sarai, now Sarah, bore a son herself, Isaac, an answer to God's promise to Abraham. But this joyous event also sowed discord. Tensions flared, jealousy brewed, and things reached a breaking point in their household. Sarah insisted that Hagar and her son Ishmael be sent away to secure Isaac's inheritance. And just like that, Hagar and Ishmael were cast into the wilderness of Beersheba with little provision, no home, and an uncertain future. Pause for a moment and imagine the loneliness and terror Hagar must have felt, knowing the wilderness could mean death for her and her child. The Bible describes how Hagar and Ishmael wandered aimlessly, lost in the scorching desert. Their water supply eventually ran dry. The fear of dehydration, exhaustion, and the harsh elements must have been unbearable. Hagar could no longer bear to see her son suffer, so she placed him under a bush and wept bitterly, lifting her voice in despair. Have you ever felt so lost, so defeated, that all you could do was cry out? If so, you're not alone, and neither was Hagar. But here's where hope pierces through the darkness. God heard Ishmael's cries and sent an angel to comfort Hagar. The angel reassured her, saying, "Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Lift the boy up and take him by the hand, for I will make him into a great nation." Just pause for a second and let that sink in. Amidst the overwhelming waves of despair, God's promise was clear. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. And then, as clear as day, Hagar's eyes were opened, and she saw a well of water. God had not only heard her, but provided exactly what they needed at their lowest moment. She filled her skin with water, gave her son a drink, and their hope was restored. This miraculous provision wasn't just water, it was life itself. It was a message that in the wilderness of life, God sees us, hears us, and provides for us in ways that defy circumstances. But the story doesn't end there. God kept his promise to Hagar and Ishmael. Ishmael grew and thrived in the wilderness. He became skillful with a bow and settled in the desert of Paran. And yes, from Ishmael came a great nation, one that fulfilled the words spoken by the angel. Hagar's journey from despair to hope is a testament to us all, that no matter how terrifying or uncertain our own wilderness might seem, God walks with us, listens to our cries, and fulfills his promises. Now let's reflect on this for a moment. How often do we find ourselves like Hagar, feeling abandoned and at the end of our rope? How often do we forget that even in the arid deserts of life, God sees us and provides for us? Hear me out. This isn't just ancient history. Hagar's story is an enduring reminder of God's faithfulness to each and every one of us. When the waters run dry and the path ahead seems impossible, we are invited to lift our voices, to cry out, and to trust that God hears us. This is more than a historical account. It's a call to faith. Maybe you're wandering in your own wilderness right now, facing impossibilities and questioning whether anyone sees the tears you shed. Remember, Hagar had no idea that the well was so close until her eyes were opened by divine guidance. That same God sees you, hears your cries, and stands ready to lead you toward the wellspring of His provision. And what about those promises? You might feel like they're distant, or maybe you're still waiting for them to come to fruition. Trust, just like Hagar and Ishmael trusted, that God is faithful to His word. It doesn't mean the journey will be easy. The wilderness is harsh, after all. But like them, you might just find that the trials shape you into someone prepared for the blessings ahead. The story of Hagar and Ishmael is one of complexities, of human error, divine direction, heartache, and redemption. It's a story that transcends time because its core themes are still relevant to us today. It's a reminder that God's promises stand, no matter the twists and turns of life. And it's an invitation to see the wilderness as not just a place of desolation, but as a ground where miracles take root. So, whether you feel lost, abandoned, or just overwhelmed, let me leave you with this truth. You are seen, you are heard, and you are deeply loved by the one who parted seas, moved mountains, and provided streams in the desert. Just as He did for Hagar and Ishmael, He will do for you. All you have to do is trust. And when the time comes, you too will see the well that's been prepared for you all along. Isn't this kind of faith-stirring story something we all need in our lives? Let's share this message of hope and encouragement widely. Tag someone who might need to hear this today and let them know, no matter their wilderness, they're not alone. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Bible stories that inspire and uplift. Until next time, may your faith carry you through your own wilderness.